Greetings, fellow Ascendancy members. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Starsector Ascendancy, episode 37, Cash for Cash. This is where we are picking up. We have a colony crisis incoming of a narco raid. Essentially, as a result of having our ports as free ports, there's a lot of drug and organ smuggling coming out of our planets. So the independent worlds are sending, like, crime investigators to crack down. You know, think like DEA or ATF or something like that. And there's a few ways to handle this. One way, honestly, is just to turn off your free ports before they arrive, so there's no crime for them to find. But I might not even do that. I might just keep free porting for the money rather than bend to their will and deal with it. But what I want to do first is build up a contact with Tritech. So we got the Commerce Raiders off of our back by defeating them, but that's not good enough. I would like to build a trade agreement with Tritech, and there's one really interesting way to do that, which is what I'm going to be doing right off the bat. The other thing I wanted to do is to colonize the gas giant in my system so that we can start to produce our own fuel, because I think that would be a very wise thing to do. So current priority right now is build a contact with the Tritech and colonize the gas giant. So let's do the gas giant first. I'm going to take the high value prisoners so that I can turn them into money. I've been keeping them safe so that when I needed to turn them into money, I'd have them available. And for everyone in the chat, thank you so very much for the bits. Baldy Borka, Crimson Rust, Glitch. Thank you. I'll drink to that. Cheers. So thinking about fuel production, Petrobel is a planet with no atmosphere. So Petrobel is a perfect planet in order to set up fuel production. But right now, it's suffering from a bunch of shortages. So, you know, I also want to resolve that too. In fact, I'm going to go so far as to say I'm going to stop construction of mining at Petrobel so that we can instead set it up as a fuel refinery. So the reason, and I'll explain that a little bit more in detail. The reason why using Petrobel for that purpose is the plasma dynamo allows you to produce more volatiles off of a gas giant for where it's installed. And then in order to turn those volatiles into fuel, you need to set up fuel refining. And the synchrotron core dramatically increases the amount of fuel that you can produce, but it does require it to be set up on a planet with no atmosphere. No atmosphere means that it can't be set up on the gas giant. Gas giants, I think, are always atmosphered, right? Because they're gas giants. That's kind of their definition. So Azaroon here has a toxic atmosphere. And of course, Sean, being our Terran world, has a breathable, habitable atmosphere. So Petrobel's the only one with no atmosphere. So setting Petrobel up as the fuel refinery or fuel production is the obvious choice here. So that's my plan, is to set up fuel production on Petrobel and then a new planet as the volatiles production. So that's exactly what I'm going to do first, because it takes a long time for planets to develop, so I might as well just get ahead of it. So what I want to do is grab Sappho here so that I have space for extra troops. I am going to store Nimiat and Stickiest because they are all undemodded at this point. So I'm just keeping a whole bunch of these phase ships that I know that I want to continually undemod. Then I'll grab, let's see, more crew. And then I need some supplies, because you need like 1,000 supplies to set up a planet. And let's get over there. And we're heading over to Blakaz. And we're setting up that as a gas giant. Dom and Furious Rebel, thank you for the resubs. Cheers. This also means that I'm going to have a raffle because I'm about to colonize a new planet and it needs to be named after someone. So, raffle timer's up above my head. And best of luck to you all becoming the gassiest giant in this solar system. Alright, it's going to be Rhina for now. So let's see what we want to do. We're going to build a spaceport, and then I am going to set up mining so that we can start collecting the volatiles. And then as soon as mining gets built, I will install the thing that adds to fuel production. And there we go. Easy peasy. So I had a little bit of money saved up. So this is essentially what I'm deciding what to do with my money. We are down to very few heavy machinery, but that's fine. So the plasma dynamo, we'll move one over to the new planet, and the synchrotron core I can put on Petrable once we set that up as well. Resource stockpiles. So the next thing I wanted to do is kind of a dramatically interesting move, if I do say so myself. So one, I want to refit my ship to be better now that I have acquired a bunch of new weapons. So I finally found a 4th tack lance last stream, because I don't know how to make them yet. So I'm putting a tack lance, or 2 tack lances on, and then grav beams, and then the universal turrets here. Ooh, maybe ion beam? I would love a second ion beam. I just don't have one at the moment, so instead what I might do is phase lances. What I'm trying to do is replace most of the weapons on this ship with laser-based weapons, so that it's a true and honest disco ball. So we have, let's see, I have tack lasers. So we have 5 tack lasers in the back, and then these side slots here. Ooh, I don't know if I have anything to put in here. I might leave them empty and just take the capacity instead. So this Paragon's gonna punch a wee bit harder. And by a wee bit harder, I mean like insanely harder. The other thing I might want to do is to decide what other build-in that I want. I don't think I need accelerated shields anymore. I think it would be ideal if I aim to keep my shields up at all times. S-modded stabilized shields converts 10% of the hard flux damage taken by shields into soft flux, which wouldn't be bad, but 10%'s not massive. Let's see some of our options here. So hardened shields doesn't have, what I'm looking for is like something that has an S-mod benefit. So resistant flux conduits increases flux dissipation rate when venting. And that might be a good choice just so that I vent really quickly. So that there's, if you think of it like as a pit stop, you know, I would take very short pit stops. I'm trying to think of what else might be nice. I kind of like that one though, more than the others. Yeah, I think that might be what I do. So let's do that. Resistant flux conduits. So it decreases the amount of EMP damage taken by weapons such as ion cannons by 50%. Also increases the ship's flux dissipation rate while venting by 25%. And then the S-mod bonus is another 10%. So if I build this in, it's not a very expensive mod, but if I build that in, and then on top of that, if I set myself up with even more flux venting or flux dissipation, my total flux dissipation is going to be really fast. So that way, when I build up flux, I can dump flux in a blink of an eye. Because these new weapons on this ship will generate a lot more flux, so I'll be able to vent it a lot quicker. And Vortex. You know, Vortex, weren't you a... Yeah, you were a planet in the last series that I ran. So, congratulations yet again. So, Rhina, you are now Vortex. I guess that name lives on. I like it. All right. So, the other things I wanted to do... I don't really want to go anywhere until I can put the plasma dynamo into the new mining station. And for that, Vortex needs to start queuing up mining. So I think probably the best thing I could do is to just spend a little bit of time. Maybe I'll go over to the tech crate here and grab that while we wait on the Vortex gas giant, which is a pretty good name for a gas giant if you ask me. So the other thing I wanted to do is to turn these prisoners over. So let's go to special functions, to prisoner actions, and collect ransom from them. So now I just ransomed off all the prisoners that I had for money. So we have a lot bigger of a nest egg. And with that bigger nest egg, I can invest in fuel production at Petrable. And then once that starts to get built, I'll be able to install the synchrotron core into Petrable as well. Trying to make some big moves here. Getting ready for our debut against the galaxy, let's call it. Remember an admin for the new colony? Yes. So that's another thing that we're going to need to find is a free administrator. So I'm going to pop around Petrable and Sean and Azaroon to take a look if there is a free administrator that we can put in charge. Oh no, we have a little friend. That's right, that's right. I already had one. We're still probably going to want to hire another one. Right. Ooh, those are some nice detachments I'm looking at. Alright, so managing the colony at Petrable. Let's install the synchrotron core. And now Petrable will have remarkably high fuel production as a result. But it will demand a lot of volatils, which we're hoping to fulfill by Vortex. So let's go ahead and get that tech crate. Why not? It's something to waste a little time on. Wouldn't even be that much of a waste. So, tech crate. I'm going to change up the fleet a little bit. I'm going to take the 2 big legions and then all of the lovely eradicators. And let's go with the 2 Sunders and all the other phase ships. And of course, the lovely monitors too. So we've quite the fleet now, because those tech crates tend to be guarded well. I even need to hire more people. I am beyond my crew capacity. There we go. Looking good. Let's jump through the gate and head on over. So taking a look, Sean here is racking in the money, no problem. Petrable's in the hole only because they have remarkable shortages, which I'm not going to fix just yet. Have I repaired the tug? I have not. No. In fact, just one tug isn't really enough because the tug can't tug. Like, you need multiple tugs to tug other tugs. It's something that I don't intend to do for a while. So there's, but don't worry, I haven't forgotten. All right, so if we want to go to the tech crate, let's figure out where that is. That's at Delta Whalo, a neutron star. Ew, neutron stars. I don't like neutron stars. Where is Delta Whalo from? Zeta Whalo, Gamma Whalo, Delta Whalo. All right, there we are. It's next to Realm. And then the other thing I wanted to do is to make sure that my officers were in the right ships. So yeah, they both taken up in legions. Perfect. Oh, Lynx is a naked ship that I hadn't actually refitted. Oops. I'm gonna fix that just, yeah, I don't even care. one little phase ship that doesn't have weapons isn't too big of a deal. Now, the other thing I was considering, and maybe I'll have you guys decide this, is should I invest some story points into my colonies? So one thing I could do for Sean is maybe make an improvement for 25% extra colony income at the commerce, or make an improvement for extra stability at population and infrastructure. And then I could do you know, I could probably improve all of the planets in similar ways by investing a little bit of story points as a result. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea. I'll let you guys decide that. While I head over to Delta Vuelo. Alright, it's a neutron star. It's going to be annoying. Yep, of course, I entered right to the blast. Like I always do. But hey, I found the tech crate. It's just I need to sit here for a minute because our fleet just got super blasted. Oh, ow. This is a much easier fight than I remember it being. Alright. I will take my monitors, and that's it. I don't need no backup. The debut of the Mega Laser. Look at this Fulgent. Oh, Fulgent's already getting cooked. Bye, fool. Should have called you the Fulgent. Alright, let's go after the Brilliant next. Yes, my flux dissipation rate is glorious. Lets me just laser like nothing is a problem. Double kill. Killing spree. Alright, Mr. Monitor. Multi-kill. Alright, that was easy. We are going to take the AI core for myself. Sorry, Tritac. We got a Pegasus blueprint, which we already had. A Falcon blueprint. Pirate version. I actually like those. And then a bunch of blueprints that we already had besides that. Little salvage. Bada bing, bada boom. And let's get zoom. Alright, Vortex now has done the spaceport. So I can go back and install. And I'm also going to upgrade the Megaport. So that's pretty much the remainder of my monies. We are moneyless now. But I think it's money well spent. Getting an entire fuel industry in an afternoon. I like it. Alright, you guys think I should invest my story points into the colonies? So I'm going to do just that. So Sean, I'm going to put an improvement for commerce and an improvement for pop stability. Petrobel, I am going to do pop stability. And I'm going to do orbital works. Azaroon. I'll do pop stability. And Vortex, I will do mining and pop stability. And Azaroon, maybe mining as well. That's all my story points. Pretty well spent. Souping up my my planets considerably. Can the Patrol HQ? Everything can have story points, yes. So the Patrol HQs increase the number of medium patrols launched by 1. Ground defenses increase the defense of the ground defenses. Battle stations increase stability. Any industry just increases output by 1. Way stations increase accessibility. Megaports increase accessibility. High command increases heavy patrols. So if I get a lot more story points, investing into the high command might be nice. But I'd rather have, honestly, stability and output rather than patrols, because my patrols, as they are now, are strong enough to defend against most incursions, and then having one extra patrol isn't going to make a lick of difference. In my opinion. Alright, so here we are, installing the plasma dynamo. So now we have the synchrotron core and the plasma dynamo both hooked up. I'm going to quit hazard paying just to save some scratch. And then I am going to activate my next big goal here in just a second. I'm going to change my fleet composition just a little bit because I needed some ships that had refitting. I also want to store everything that I have here. I don't really want to lose it to a scan patrol or something like that. So, let's see. Refit this Omen. Just generic fitting. I don't really care. And then, Sapo, I don't really need you where I'm headed. And I am going to take... Let's see. Hammerhead. And 2 more Omens. And I'm going to see if... I'm going to make sure that they're all raffled off as well. I'll take the Mora. And... one of the little enforcers. So the ISS Lynx is not named after anyone. So another raffle timer for the ISS Lynx. Good luck. And I think that's the only one that hasn't been raffled. Everything else seems to have a name. Cool. So the let me hide that poll. I've spent all those story points. So we are now going to build a contact with Tritech, and I'm going to do that in a really weird and interesting way. So I'm excited about that. I'm also going to max out fuel, buy a bunch of supplies, and my crew, I might need a little bit more crew than that too, just to account for losses. I got quite the fleet going on right now. And I'm heading up to Thanatos and Abaddon. Activating my big plan. Oh, Defender Victory. Oh, Syndrian defended their homeworld. That's good, because I would not want them to fall. Even if they're jerks. Alright, here we are. This little... So you guys probably remember this. This is where Sentinel is. Where that separated out colony was. But there happens to be a hidden cache here, and I'm here for the hidden cache. So the hidden cache is guarded by an Onslaught, a Legion, a Dominator, a bunch of Falcons, and they're all AI ships. So let's do this. I'm gonna go out with my ship, Roy, and then the monitors, and... 2 Eradicators. And everybody, defend moi. What's that ability in slot 8? I'll check when I'm not in combat. this eagle wants to overextend. Fine by me. So here comes the onslaught. It's doing its barrage. One eradicator already just went poof. Give me 2 omens and a shade. Alright, I'm trying to lose some aggro so I can drop some flux. Let's see. Oh, that's gloriously fast venting. I love it. They're getting super torped. And they're popped. Alright, I'm gonna have to tank for the Legion a little bit, because it's pretty overheated. The other ship that they came with, the Legion, their Legion has squall suppressions. So I'm not gonna get a lot of, break, because they're just gonna keep squall suppressing. Alright, and I'm gonna tell them to full assault. Alright, a monitor just went down, but I don't have a cheap enough ship to replace it. Dumping my flux again. And I'm going to start punching holes in the onslaught. Weakening its corner section here so I can destroy it. Alright, another eradicator just went down. Give me 2 sunders. That Harbinger in front of me, yep. Or shade, rather. I guess it was a shade. Decided to cut me off. That was not such a good idea. Alright, the ISS Lynx is going to be named active once I'm not busy. And they just lost their onslaught, so that's a big boon for us. I might help the Legion with its issues before resolving my own, because we're pretty close to killing off the wing ships over here. Oh, did not expect the Dominator to come in like that, though. I'm gonna have to drop my Fortress Shields here in a second. But I think what I'm gonna do is just try to... No, I'm gonna have to raise my shields again. I was trying to fire until their flux couldn't handle any more shots. It'd be great if my ships actually started engaging them, though. So I have a bunch of ships that are waiting on the wings. Alright, I'm out of their range. Except for their, like, Ziphos or whatever that was. Alright, going for the Dominator. And let's bring in a Hammerhead. It's a lot of torpedoes. Nice, it just overloaded the Legion. This fight's over. Dominator spinning around to try to mitigate my damage them doing to its armor. Too late, too slow. Legion is gone. And now all that's left is a Falcon and an Enforcer, and that's like a nothing. By Falcon. And by Enforcer. And we're done. So I just discovered that the 14th Flotilla used AI warships, because all these were AI warships that we're up against. And I am going to recover everything. So I'm taking their AI Onslaught, I'm taking their AI Legion, and I'm taking their AI Dominator. 3 Gamma Cores, a whole lot of experience, and a Planet Killer. So, let's read this. The rock that Autonomous Fleet was defending was pocked with hiding holes, empty, and fuel and supply stores. Also empty. After a thorough sensor sweep, Your ops chief finally gives the order, and the solvers move in and uncover a camouflaged access point. The shaky image from a helmet cam reveals the carapace of terrestrial death, glittering in the chaotic play of suit lamps. One planet killer. Your ops chief cuts the excited chatter between salvors with a harsh word, and they return to procedural call and response. The planet killer is soon secured in your flagship. A lost planet killer is an object of dread which looms over every human in the Persean sector. It is the bane of Opsis, of Hanan Pacha, and the other worlds such atrocities unleashed upon. Many powerful faction will want to secure this weapon so that they may not be dethroned in a shock atrocity, and many a minor faction will grant use to it to secure respect and protection. Lud only knows what the Pathers would do with it. Say nothing for the pirates. Alright, so I have too many ships at the moment. I should have brought in 27. Actually, I'm not even going to bother mothballing. Let's just get home ASAP, now that that's done. So we don't burn through our supplies. God, one of these ships is slow as hell. Two of them are. Alright, monthly expenses was mostly stocks withdrawn from fleet. We should be in the black next month. More than this month. And then I think this is closest to the gate. So the 8th slot ability, okay, I have received a peace treaty offer from the Ludic Church. Sure. I'll accept peace. What was the other thing? A Remnant raid. And a Dictat raid. None of these really concern me. So at the moment, I am at peace with the church. I'm at peace with everybody but the path. Good. Now let's get these busted ships home. And before I forget, active, we'll give you... That ship was rightfully yours. Wow, that's not the paste I thought it would be. There. That took considerable effort. Man, I am burning through my supplies. Alright. Dropping off most of these ships back at Sean. I'll keep a few just to remove demods, though. Alright, that's my fleet. Very simple. Oh, not resource stockpile. That was a misclick. Don't want to sell my crew. I just didn't want to have to pay them so much. Give them a little shore leave instead. Alright, looks good. I am planning on heading into the core, so let's see. We have drugs needed. 1,600 drugs. Merlin and Tupliak. And then organs and Enyon. And then we have domestic goods at Enyon. Hanta always wants volatiles. And people, apparently, although they're not paying very much for people. Fuel at Merlin. Supplies at Merlin. So I think what I'll do is I'll make just one simple run to Merlin because they seem to be short of everything. They're probably getting raided by some by someone in the core. So anything that Merlin wants, I'll bring over. Did they want? They didn't want organs. Just supplies, I think. All right. Heading over to Berlin now. So how are my planets doing? Sean is now making even more money due to the improvements to commerce. I like it. Stability looks really awesome. Fuel production is 70 days away. Mining for volatiles is 26 days away. This all looks really good. All looks very promising. And then I'm going to want to improve Vortex as much as I can. You know, the standard, you know, ground support, orbital station, that kind of thing. All right, Merlin is the northern gravity well. Got it. Okay, $500,000. And then the stocks withdrawn by my fleet was about 200k, so that's a sizable swath of profit. I like it. Now for my next stop. I'm headed down to Mute to Arcona. Well, there's been a war here. I'm gonna quickly check if there's any, like, nope, not a battleship. Every now and then you can find, like, battleships when there's battles like this. Sometimes they're worth checking out, not always. So the ability in slot 8 would be transverse jump, if that's what you mean. The last one is neutrino detector, which I'm actually gonna clear because I don't have one anymore. So Arcona is this gravity well down here. All right. Comms. I am going to talk to... Let's see. Let's do Rada Europa. I've experienced some recent friction with Tritac. And I need a known contact. Okay. I have a different idea. Hey, base director. I'd like to discuss planet killers. Ah, she puts on an expressive-looking smile. I'm very sorry to say we don't have any available for sale right now, but if you'd like to submit your contact information for the waitlist, we also have a dazzling range of lower-yield weapons, including AM-catalyzed fusion devices with a proven track record in both civilian and private military contractor applications. I'd be more than happy to provide you with a catalog, including the Tachyon Holo Experience, featuring a hand-curated selection of some of our most popular items. I'm not buying, I'm selling. Oh, she exclaims. Please accept my apologies, Captain. It is not often that we find a supplier of such items. She taps at something on a tripad, and the cheerful business persona turns its glow down a notch or three. If what you say is true, and we shall have to have a technician inspect the item before any payment is made, then the rest assured that we shall deal with utmost secrecy. It's nothing more than Tritacyon's guarantee to respect the privacy of our valued partners. I am going to negotiate a payment of 500,000 credits. Athena Kazan is eager to do business. Presumably, they will negotiate a finder's fee with the relevant VP for this find. And with Tritacyon's deep pockets, it is not difficult to negotiate a 500,000 credit payment. A small team of elite techs is shuttled to your fleet to inspect the planet killer. Your technical officer can barely refrain from asking questions about their advanced diagnostic tools, but the work is soon done and the deal is confirmed. You receive a small fortune and the planet killer disappears into the machinery of Tritachyon Corporation. I've increased my relationship with Tritach by 5. My relationship with Athena by 5. The hegemony didn't really like that, but I did get a highly important military contact for Athena. So, in leaving really quickly and going to my intel and then my contacts list, why you look at this? I am going to develop my contact. And now, let's go back to Arcona. Talk to Athena Kazan. Perhaps we can work together to solve my ongoing problems with Tritachyon. You explain your perspective on the situation, and Tritachyon-based director nods along, nothing seeming to come as a surprise. I see you, I hear you, and I believe that, well, that's supposed to say together, but it definitely says to Guather? We can solve this misunderstanding, she says, voice warmed by client relation protocol training. She shifts to an apologetic look. Of course, I wouldn't want you to think that I was behind any of this. Tritachyon is a big believer in healthy internal competition, and some executives become overenthusiastic. She shakes her head. Terribly misjudged and disrespectful of the business relationship you and I have built together. Now, I just gave you a giant planet-killing nuke. What relationship do we have? Whatever. Her condolences shifts seamlessly to negotiation mode. So, if you allow me to walk you through a modest proposal. Athena Kazan reviews a package of terms, data sharing of certain nav charts, and a commodity future projection, mutual safety protocols of trade fleets, shared field, and in-dock servicing arrangements. What amounts to is increased accessibility for your colony's trade based on market size and proportionality for Tritachyon as well. Cartel is such an unpleasant word, she says. I prefer, and marketing agrees with this, to think of our proposal to you as a strategic partnership which will enhance Tritachyon shareholder value, increase customer satisfaction, and, she smiles hungrily, make us both a lot of credits. Let's confirm the deal. It's been a pleasure doing business with you, Tusk. Oh, it's funny because Tusk is right over there. I am glad we can profitably put all that unpleasantness behind us. So, we now have increased accessibility. Both of us. Both Tritach and I. So if I take a look at, like, let's say Sean, accessibility is increased 13% because of the strategic partnership with Tritach. I think build a contact with Tritach? That baby is done. We aced that, no problem, right? All right. Thank you for tuning in to Starsector Ascendancy, which originally streamed live on Twitch, August 9th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow captains.